Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial video on AIOps, a Deloitte proprietary platform and ecosystem for machine learning and data science. In this video, we'll demonstrate how to spin up a notebook server so you can get started with some data exploration. There are two main ways to create a notebook server. The first is here under the Quick Start tab on the home page, and the second is by clicking on the AIOps toolbar icon, selecting Notebooks, and then clicking on New Notebook Server. So now we need to select some specifications for our notebook server, starting with the name of the notebook server. For now, I'll call mine my test server. And next we must specify an image to mount to our notebook server. As a quick review, the Docker image provides your server a fully configured and working analytics environment with all the data science tools you need to hit the ground running. We can see here the standard Docker image comes with JupyterLab, Python, R, and Julia, and a CPU. Currently, AIOps also provides several additional base images that you can deploy depending on your needs. These include an image with Spark and PySpark if you are working with big data that could benefit from Spark's distributed computing engine, or images that are configured for deep learning and come with software like TensorFlow already installed. For now, we'll use the default image, and for most people, this should be sufficient for your needs. Next, we specify the CPU and RAM for our notebook server. Currently, these default to half a CPU and 1 gig of memory. Although these defaults seem low, CPU and RAM resources are actually shared across all notebook servers, so you will have access to more than these default limits. Regardless, the current upper limits for notebooks are 3.5 CPUs and 15 gigabytes of RAM. These limits are purposefully put in place for price control purposes. So let's go ahead and specify the defaults. And next, let's discuss the workspace volume specifications. A workspace volume allows you to save data to your notebook server. For now, we ask that all AIOps users select the default storage size of 1 gig and use bucket storage, which we review in an earlier video, for any large data. One thing to note is that similar to CPU and RAM pooling, the size of your workspace volume is elastic and will scale up automatically if your needs exceed 1 gig. From here, the standard user will not need to make additional specifications for data volume, configurations, or external resources. So let's go all the way to the bottom and click Launch to spin up our notebook server. When launching the server, it should usually take a minute or two for the notebook to be fully ready. If you selected a deep learning image, it might take up to 10 minutes, since many of these images are even larger than the default image. If you've been waiting around and your notebook server does not start, it probably means you requested a notebook server outside of the upper limits for CPU and RAM. In that case, you should go ahead and delete this notebook and create a new one, just like we did before. Alright, so we can see that my notebook server is now configured with the blue Connect button available. And in the next video, we'll discuss the JupyterLab workbench of the notebook server and begin to combine pieces from the previous videos. As always, if you have additional questions, please consult the AIOps wiki guide linked at the end of this video. Thank you.